guys, my name is Rihanna. I work on Belmont Farm, which is a farm situated in London. So we are split. We're half commercial with sheep farming and cattle farming as well, but we also have an educational side to our farm, which is filled with exotics and your general farmyard species. Our main mission is to educate the public as to where their food comes from and to get them to kind of understand why we do certain practices in farming. With our sheep farming, we currently have some ewes in lamb at the moment, so they are expected during April, so we should be full of lambs at that point. So this vlog is basically a week in the life of a farmer, so you can kind of understand what happens on a regular basis. So I hope you guys enjoy it and kind of learn a bit more as to potentially if you guys wanted to go into farming or to understand a bit more about what we do. So I hope you guys enjoy it. On the list are the alpacas, and we currently have 4 which are in this polytunnel. The reason why some of them are separate from the others is they are separate groups, so we generally keep them away from each other. These guys in here are being kept separate. We just have one which we're trying to put weight on. I know in this group there are a couple which they're not aggressive, but they like to kick and they like to bite and spit. So it's always taking extra precaution when you are with these guys. But what we're trying to do at the moment is they stay in the green polytunnel overnight, and during the day they go out into their little paddock just there so that they can forage for grass and eat that because they are ruminants. So it is just keeping vigilant and trying to do things sensibly and safely, and understanding different animals' personalities, because just like us, they have their own personalities and they are just a bit different. Just like no 2 people are the same, no 2 animals are the same, but so it is taking precautions and trying to work safely and sensibly around these animals. So let's get them out. So here we go, gonna let the alpacas out. We have Gordon, Bailey, Enia and Stella. So what we're going to do, drag this gate, and then they should, fingers crossed, go to where they're supposed to go to. Come on, any paddock, please. So we're giving Stella a wide berth because her legs can fly anywhere they want. And hopefully they are just gonna, good job guys. There we go. Excellent work from the alpacas just there. So these guys are gonna be able to graze all day. We are trying to put a bit more weight on Guinness. Just try and fill her out a little bit more. She's on a special diet, but during the day she gets to forage and exhibit natural behaviours. So this is where these guys are, and they will return to the polytunnel at night. So it is complete free range for these guys. They can choose whether they want to go into the polytunnel or not. So that went beautifully. In this field we have our pregnant Herdwick ewes, and so these guys require a bit more nutritional care. Obviously some of them will be carrying twins, some will be carrying just a single lamb, so the nutritional requirements change. So that's something which you have to keep on track. You have to kind of note at each life stage what nutritional requirements they need, which is why we put things like salt licks in the field, and it's just time for their breakfast. So I'm just going to go grab that and then feed them. As you can see at the moment it's very muddy, so that is something to take into consideration. We work in all weather types. So that's something to bear in mind. Okay, so let's see if we can get them over. Ladies! Come on! Come on! Hello! Come on! Okie dokie! Are we all ready for our breakfast? Are we all here? Yes, yes, yes. Come on, you! Always one. It's always one. We all ready? Yeah. So this breed, relatively scatty, not dangerous at all. So the rams, on the other hand, will meet Hamish, our ram. Hello. I'll show you the difference between the males and the females. But here they all are, ready for their brekkie. So these two boys in here are our rams, and there is a reason why they are called rams. You can have a look at Hamish. He's obviously got his horns. Blaze doesn't, but obviously he is still quite big and quite powerful. Although these two are absolutely fine when you're outside of their pen, and generally they are okay when you go in. Obviously when they are with the ewes, they can become a bit more testosterone infused, is the best way to describe it. So you work with a variety of different animals. Obviously you work with big livestock, big hoof stock. It is important to stay vigilant about it. These animals are more than capable of causing some serious damage, especially when it is going into tupping season, where we put the rams in with the ewes. So it is really important when you work with animals like this that you read their behaviours and you make sure that you understand when they are about to ram, buck, charge, whatever you'd like to call it. So it's the same with bulls, same with cows, any large animal. You just have to read their behaviours and try to understand when the correct time is to get out or the correct time is to leave. You having a good time? Yeah. So it is these two's breakfast as well, so I will get on with that right now. Okay, so in this field we have 2 of our Jersey cows, and these guys are in here at the moment because we are weaning the 2 almost year-old calves off them. So these guys are in here so that they dry up. So cows do not produce milk all year round. That's something which people don't really understand. So there has to be a drying off period, like every mammal. There has to be a period where they rest and they don't lactate anymore, they don't produce milk. This is where we have our 2 girls in here. You gonna say hi? Apparently not. Hello. There we go. So we're keeping these guys up here until they are dry, and then they'll go back onto a different paddock. So I'm not too sure if I caught that. It was me treating one of our rams who's a bit poorly at the moment. So he has been pecked by magpies and crows, and so he's got a bit of a wound at the moment. So we have to make sure that he is as well as he can be. So we use a spray called engamycin. It is a antibacterial spray. So that just means that if there's any bacteria that's in it, we can treat it accordingly. That is something about farming that you need to bear in mind, that if there's any treatable wounds, you will be having to treat it. So you do almost become a vet at the same time. Welfare of the animals is obviously a top priority, so we need to treat what we can. If we cannot treat it, that is when the vet gets involved. So we are in contact with vets for things that we can't treat. So we've kept him separate in the stable, so that's where he lives, and it is just to treat him until he's a bit better, and then he'll go outside and rejoin the other sheep, other rams that he's with. So we're just going to have to keep an eye on him. It's all part of the job. Sometimes you'll deal with things which aren't too pleasant, so fly strike, for example, we can treat that. Infections, cuts, basic abrasions, things like that. So the priority is the animals' welfare, to keep them safe, to keep them free from harm. Obviously sticking with the the Animal Welfare Act 2006. Farm animals do have their own legislation in place as well, so they are extra protected. In England, in the UK, they have their own set of laws and legislations that we have to abide by, and one of them is keeping them safe from harm and treated when we can treat them. So that's what we're doing at the moment. Fingers crossed everything goes well. It is healing up, it's quite nice at the moment, it's not open, and it is getting back to normal, and there's no signs of an infection. So that is another thing you need to bear in mind. You will be treating the treatable. Some of it isn't pleasant, so you've got to almost put your vet head on and kind of go in and be like, no, I'm doing this for the animal, I'm keeping the animal safe, and so that's what we do as well. Okay, so the time is 7 o'clock and we have an exciting time today. All of our ewes are going to get scanned, which means that we'll find out how many lambs they're going to have. That's another thing about farming, early starts. Lambing's just going to get harder with night shifts, making sure that the ewes are okay, but this is a very exciting time in the farm calendar. So I'll record this so you guys can see kind of what we do. Okay. singles, so they're only carrying one lamb. We have some doubles, so that's twins, and we do have a few triplets. So what we have to do is separate them into appropriate groups, because obviously if they're carrying more, they're going to need more nutrients, more food. So that's what we're going to do now. We run them through something called a sheep race. So we separate them up in there, and we're just going to go and grab them now. So I'll record that and we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed, all good. So the next step is that we put them all into the sheep race. They're getting scanned with an electronic tag reader. This is so we can log how many lambs each individual are having. After that, we worm them. So this is to ensure that there are no internal parasites such as worms. It's to make sure that they're all healthy. Obviously, they're heavily pregnant at this point. We're making sure they're okay. After that, they will be split off into groups. So we have the twins and the triplets together, and then we have the singles together as well. This is obviously so that they are split into groups according to how many lambs they're going to have. So ewes that are carrying more lambs will require more feed. So this is just to make sure that the animal's health, and as the lambs are developing more, they gain the correct nutritional requirements, and that they are all kept in tip-top shape. So in this pen we have all the single ladies, so all the ladies which are only carrying one lamb. We go in, they on a line, and as you can see, they all kind of just eat it very politely. One red dot means they are only carrying one lamb. When we go and feed the doubles, so twins and the triplets, you'll see they're different colours. That's to help us remember who has who. So we've got quite a large block, so it will spray paint on them, marker on them, lets us know who has what. So that's them just enjoying their breakfast. You can see we've got different types in here. It's a mixed flock at the moment, so we've got some Texel crosses, we have some Herdwicks, some Warbles, and some Border Leicesters as well. So they'll just all very politely eat and get what they need in there. So this is one of them. I'm going to go and feed the rest of them now. Make sure they're okay. So when you come in, you do a visual health check. So that just means you're looking and you're trying to see if anybody's a little bit limpy, a little bit lame, any noticeable wounds. That's my Lippy! You going to go say hello? You can say hi. Say hi. I'm so happy she's pregnant. She's one of my favourites. You're not supposed to have favourites, but you always end up having multiple. So she is very tame, bless her. But yeah, we'll just have a little check to see if there's any wounds, anything like that. And as you can see, these guys are fine. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do, eh? Can you say hello? Oh, there's another one. Okay. When I got told that we had sheep where they were not supposed to be, I instantly thought it could be a Herdwick. So these sheep are like the show jumping horses of the sheep world, and they manage to get into places where they're not supposed to get into quite often. So it is almost doing a search and rescue for sheep. So my logic, might be proved wrong, is that these girls haven't been fed because they missed the feed up with the other ones. So I'm going to open the gate, shake the bucket, and hope that they come out. This may not go to plan, farming, it's a lot of trial and error. So I'll give that a go and see if it works. If not, I'll be running around a field trying to get them out. So here are our escape artists. Bucket food, come on, come on. So I'm going to step back a bit just so that they have the confidence to pass me. Come on! Oh my goodness. Come on! Do you know what? I knew it would be her. Absolutely knew it. Yeah, run off. Go back up there, please. So what I'm going to do is no. I'll leave the bucket here. Watch the lady. They'll go into the bucket, they'll eat it because that's just the kind of characters they are. But I'm going to close this and then I'll put it down for them. Hopefully they won't go back in there. Move please, thank you. So they are a skittish breed. That's nothing uncommon and they are very, very athletic. I knew it would be you. So I've just fed them a bit further away. This is purely because the rest of the flock is up there and they have eaten, and it's just to make sure that these girls have got something in them and that they can get their breakfast as well. So that's why these guys are a bit further off. Hopefully they'll go and rejoin the flock, but they're herdwicks, so I do not know what's going to happen with them. It might have to be the repeat, get the sheep out of the field and deal with that until they're moved. So another aspect of the job is that it is quite physically demanding. You end up growing muscles that you didn't really know you had. Obviously each food bag that we have here is 20 kg, so you have to learn to lift it, but that comes with time, and then that's combated with the colder months, so it can get a bit difficult with lifting things which are quite heavy. Then you've got hay up, you've got to carry hay bales, you have to do that, so it is quite a physically demanding job. It is like being at the gym for 9 hours straight, so that's something else to consider, that you do get used to it, but to begin with it can be quite challenging. So that's all part of the fun of farm life and working with animals. So in farming we do keep in contact with other kind of businesses as well. So we have 2 ponies and 2 donkeys. So we have the farrier which comes in, so that's almost like the pedicurist for like equestrian species, so like horses, donkeys, etc. He comes in and they get their hooves done, so it is arranging farrier appointments. Obviously if something is poorly or needs certain things like castrations, other things like that, we call the vet. So we are in contact with the vet. We are in contact with food sources, so obviously where we get the animals hard pellet feed from.
Morning, I'm calling from Belmont Farm. Can I put a feed order in, please?
Yep. So, the next delivery day we have is Wednesday the 2nd.
Wednesday the 2nd. Yep, okie dokie.
What can I get you?
Can I have a pallet of pony nuts, please?
Yep.
2 bags of oats.
Yep.
3 chick crumb.
Yep.
Actually, can I make it 3 oats, sorry?
Yep.
And then 4 natural beef nut, please.
Yep.
And then 40 ewe nut, please. Is there any chance of having the rolls of that one, please?
The sheep roll.
Yeah, please.
So 40 sheep rolls. Yep.
Yes, please.
No problem. I'll put that on for you.
Thank you very much. And that's Wednesday the 2nd, yeah?
Wednesday the 2nd.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We are also in contact with schools and colleges, so we have a lot of students which come to do their work experience here, so we keep in contact with the work experience coordinators and also the the student themselves and the tutors, so that's something else that we do. In contact with people at market, other farmers, if you're getting obviously like livestock from them, to arrange pickup and different things like that. So there is a broad spectrum of different businesses, different kind of aspects of the industry that we are in contact with on a regular basis. So again, like communication skill is really, really important, just so that you can keep in contact and make the day go smoothly. So that's another thing which we do as well. So one thing about farming is that we work in all weather types. So if it's raining, we'll come in. If it's snowing, we'll come in. At the moment we have a storm, so that's going to be quite interesting to work through that. So there's no such thing as fair weather farming. You kind of need to understand that no matter what the weather type is, you will be coming in. The animals can't go to Tesco's, they can't feed themselves, so we have to provide that for them. Obviously within the animal industry and farming there are welfare laws, so it relates back to the Animal Welfare Act 2006. That means that we have to provide ample care for these animals, and that means working in the rain, working in a storm, working in anything. So that can be quite interesting. If you're not a fan of rain, maybe this isn't the career for you. So that is something to bear in mind, that no matter rain or shine, you will be here. I've worked the past 3 Christmases, so you've just got to understand that you won't get every single weekend off, you won't be able to go to every event, you will have to come in on Christmas potentially, and you will have to come in no matter what. So that is something to bear in mind. Yeah, these animals, we provide the care for them, we have to make sure that they're well and that they're safe and well fed, especially during these times of the year. So especially with lambing, we have to obviously make sure that their nutritional requirements are met and that their welfare standards are met as well. So again, something to bear in mind if you're not into rainy weather, maybe this isn't right for you. Another thing to bear in mind is that there are very early starts. So I start work at 7:30, but during lambing season, or if we've got certain events during the farming calendar, it could be anything from 5 to 6 a.m. Especially during lambing, there will be night shifts and calving as well. So that does mean that you don't generally get to sleep as well. You'll be in early starts, and in farming there's no end date. It's when the job's done, you go home. So it's not your 9 till 5. Most animal jobs aren't. So that is something again to bear in mind, that there will be long hours, there will be early starts, but it's to do with the passion for the job. No farmer goes into farming thinking that, it's going to be really easy. You do it for the love of the animals and the love of the job and the graft and how hard you work. It is a passion for the job which fuels you. So that is something again to keep in your brain. If you're not a fan of early starts, it probably isn't for you. That being said, the rewards of the job are so fulfilling. So the rewards of lambing season, the rewards of calving, you welcome new life into the world and you get to raise them from birth up until when they are sent off to market. And you see certain characteristics through the different animals, and it's lovely to see that part of it. So that is kind of what gets you through the day. Obviously in the summer, everybody loves the summer. It's lovely to work outside. Winter, a bit hard, but you kind of push yourself through to get to spring where there's new life. Obviously the plants grow back, obviously we get vegetation, we get lambs, we get new life. So it is kind of like a cycle of, you go through the not so pleasant months to get the reward of the really pleasant months as well. So again, something to bear in mind. So just a quick note, with a lot of animal industry jobs, a lot of the bulk of the work is mucking out. So it's making sure that cleanliness is maintained in pens, and obviously that the animals are in clean enclosures, clean stables, clean barns. It is quite shocking that a lot of people don't realise this. So that is something to bear in mind, that a lot of it is mucking out and making sure that they are all clean and happy in that sense. So there will be a lot of physical work regarding that. So wheelbarrows, mucking out, going to the muck heap, and then putting fresh straw down and making sure that they've got enough hay. So a lot of it is mucking out. That's just something to bear in mind, that it won't always be doing the fun jobs. A lot of it, you know, you won't be cuddling a sheep or caring for the orphan lambs. A lot of it is the graft of cleaning out and making sure that the hygiene levels are acceptable. So again, bear that in mind with any animal industry job that you're going to go into. You will be cleaning out a lot of the time. Yep. So hopefully this video has helped. If anybody was considering going into farming, hopefully it's given a bit more information about what we do and a little bit of a glimpse of a week in the life of a farmer or a day in the life of a farmer. I hope this has helped, and I hope you've all enjoyed it. So yeah, thank you for watching and have a good week. Bye.